So this book here relates to my series of videos on the life purpose, which details the lessons of the life path and the birthday number working together to let you know what you're here to do in this lifetime. And here I am for the next video on my request list. So this has been requested by someone who is a massive master life path 33/6, but they were also born on the 3rd. That gives them a few added challenges and difficulties within that 3 energy, but it also even more enhances the master 33/6's ability to be the best 3 they can be, because the double 3 is not all just the life path, it's also in the birthday number. So the 3 is vital here, not just because it's a master number, but because it's also the birthday number. But we mustn't forget that 6, using your creativity and your verbal ability in a way that nurtures the world or helps those most vulnerable to be better in some way, using your creativity. What a big subject, what a big job to do. So if this is your life purpose, if you're a master 33/6 with a 3 birthday, you know, you've got a big creative job to do for this world, because you're a master communicator, and a master, you can perform on the stage, you can write, you can act, you can be creative with your hands. You're very much that creative artist here to inspire, inform and delight the world. But what we're going to do now, this big job of yours, we're going to break it down, because remember that master life path energy is the most important energy in your chart. So we're going to break all that down, and that's double bubble, because the master numbers have double the jobs to do than single number life paths. Then we're going to look at the birthday number breakdown so that you can really see how they work together. But you're going to see a bit of repetition, because the master 33 and the birthday 3, same energy. So when I talk about the birthday number, I'm going to be talking even further, enhancing the energy of that double 3 in your chart. So let's move on. So we're breaking down that 3, and you're going to hear a lot about the 3 in this video. Added potential, however, added difficulties. So, you know, this really needs to be focused on and been made aware of. You're here as a master 33/6 to develop passionate, positive and balanced creative emotional expression, to teach, counsel, advise, heal the world, nurture those that need it most, inspire, inform and delight those around you, whether it's in a room of people or whether it's on a stage or online, however it is. Your passionate, positive and emotional and creative expression will inspire people. But you're not going to find this easy, because it's the 3 in your life purpose. So you're going to start with potential difficulties with communication, low confidence, stutter. You might stumble on your words. You may feel you're lower in your vocabulary. You may be low confidence. You may feel you're not even creative. You may procrastinate on your creative projects and then not act at all. You're prone, especially when you're young, to negative emotional expression, hurting others and being hurt by others in a big way. You're very sensitive. So the 3 brings with it a lot of emotional and confidence and creativity issues that all 3s, especially double 3s with an extra 3, has to deal with in this lifetime. And it very much starts in childhood, and you slowly get more and more confident in your creativity and your emotional expression as you get older. But it's always something that you're going to be struggling with until you turn it into something that you can really inspire people with. You're also here to develop the ability to handle and focus that intense master energy that hits you daily as a master 33-6, an energy that bombards you and can sometimes really disrupt your daily action because it's so intense. It's like being under a big waterfall and trying to get on with your day and get jobs done when there's water choking you. But it's the same with energy. It's like an energy waterfall that 11s, 22s and master 33s as well, that also deal with this torrent of energy that the universe like throws at you daily. That has got to be managed, otherwise it can overwhelm you. And when you get that energetic overwhelm from that unmanaged, unfettered energy, it leads to anxiety and extreme nervous tension. So you've got to find a way, using a spiritual practice, exercise, dance, being creative, moving around, keeping to refocusing yourself, and using walking meditation, sitting meditation, relaxation, breathing, visualization, exercise, anything that's going to help you refocus all that energy that hits you and help you to recenter yourself every day when you're feeling overwhelmed or full of anxiety and unable to move forward, because you've got to develop that ability to handle, focus and master your intense master energy that hits you daily, and find your own way of being able to calm it and channel it into focused action, which isn't going to be easy, because you will at first, before you learn, you will struggle with overwhelm, you will struggle with anxiety, maybe even extreme nervous tension that will stop you daily until you develop something that's really going to help focus your energy. You're here to express yourself with positive verbal expression to inspire, inform and delight. It's not just your creative and your emotional, it's also the way you express yourself verbally. And of course, because that's another element that you're here to achieve at double intensity and with the birthday number, you're going to struggle with shyness, low confidence. You might even have selective mutism or be totally mute, have a stutter, a speech delay, inability to find the right words, not having the vocabulary to know what you need to say, or even language barriers. There's something in the way when you're a 333. There's something in the way when you're a 3, let alone a 333. So if you started life with this difficulty expressing yourself verbally, you can't beat yourself up for that. You've come with a master 33-6 with a 3 birthday. It's always going to be something that you would have to deal with in your verbal expression. So that's something for you to develop, to inspire, inform and delight your audiences rather than struggling with your verbal expression. You're here to creatively and artistically express yourself through words, through art, through music, through physical expression like dance or sport or movement in any way. Even acting is very physical, isn't it? It's very facial expression. It's matching the emotions of the role. So the 3 is a very performance-based, creative, acting, dancing, sportsmanlike. They know how to move their body. They know how to creatively move whether they use their whole body or just their hands and arms. They use their body in a way to artistically and creatively express. And again, not going to be easy, because this is your double 3 in the 33-6 and the 3 in the birthday. You're going to feel unconfident, uncreative. You might even hold yourself back by setting yourself unreachable benchmarks and setting yourself up for failure and using it as an excuse not to carry on, to procrastinate, to feel that you're not good enough. And that's not how you want to be. You want to be creatively and artistically expressing yourself through your medium, inspiring and informing and delighting the people around you and around the world. Because remember, you're a master 33-6. It's quite a worldly job that you're here to do. And you're here to be a dynamic doer, not a procrastinator. a calculated risk taker, an executor of ideas to an audience or social group or anyone around you that will listen to your expression. But again, if you're here to take action, you're going to procrastinate. You might even be lazy, a bit apathetic, especially if you're not managing your energy, fearful, unable to leave your comfort zone. Some 33/6s say that performing to an audience is totally out of the question for them, and it's very much a big confidence thing that they need to improve on. They also need to be responsible, act positively towards others, take full responsibility for their powerful actions. But of course, again, this is the 3 we're talking about, and we're talking the double 3 and the 3 birthday. You can be irresponsible, especially in childhood, and a little bit negative at times, unable to take responsibility for the consequences of your actions. So you might get yourself in trouble a bit. You might get involved in negative emotional altercations. Then you may act emotionally and then refuse to take responsibility for your part in this emotional debacle because you're the one who feels hurt here in your eyes. But at the end of the day, it's about managing your emotional state towards others. Their emotional state is their problem. You're about managing your responsibility to those around you and to be more responsible and to think twice, which can be difficult for a 3 in general, let alone a master 33/6 with a 3 birthday. You're also a lover of the ideal. You want the utopian ideal world. You're here to almost try and work towards it. The perceived utopia in your mind where everyone is cared for, no one is hungry, no one is without water or sustenance, but with full acceptance that the world is as it is for a reason, for us to learn and evolve. And, you can't be a healer if you don't have someone that's sick. You can't, work towards an ideal if it already exists. And if it did exist, we wouldn't do anything. We wouldn't go anywhere. Utopia makes people stagnant. Comfort, having no more lessons to learn, causes boredom, stagnancy, and overindulgence at the end of the day. As much as we'll all love to live in a utopia, this world needs to be the mix of light and dark that it is. So you're here to work towards that ideal, but understand that the world is not ideal and you've got to accept it as it is. It's a school for our learning and development, and we can only learn if we see both the dark and the light. But if you're feeling at your most idealistic and disappointed, you might be a bit judgmental of others, yourself especially, but others and the world. It causes you to judge. Why is the world not perfect? Why are there people hungry? Why are children being blown up? Why are families being split up? Why is this happening? And it can make a 6 feel quite, especially a master 33/6 who wants to make the world a better place on steroids. It can be a very downcasting because they have this vision of the ideal, something that they want to work towards. But the focus here, person who is a 33/6 with a 3 birthday, is to just be the change you want to see. Only you can control the actions you make. So be the change you want to see daily in your daily actions towards others and the world and yourself. Be nice to yourself as well. And keep your perfectionistic nature in check. It's linked to your idealism. Keep the big picture in mind so that you don't get stuck on the petty little details that aren't quite perfect, which holds you back and brings in the idealistic and the judgmental and the perfectionistic, which again, you can get lost in that petty detail, judging small imperfections, overworking but not moving forward, and forgetting the big picture, why you're actually here for, what you're actually doing this for, and even forgetting the successes because of the nitpicky details that you might have honed in on as something to improve because you're so idealistic and perfectionistic. Perfection is out there. Whether it exists or not, nobody knows. But if it is, we haven't reached it yet, guys. So you got to chill out. There's no point striving for something that we're all working towards. Okay, it's not, we haven't got there yet. And you're here to be creatively artistic, like I said, whether it be music or arts or sculpture or anything, or home design, fashion, anything where you creatively put aesthetics together, or you create music, performance, something spectacular to be looked at, to make people feel nurtured and entertained and inspired. It's a very creative, using your creativity to affect the emotional state of others with a love for beauty and aesthetics and fashion and makeup and home design or music, or anything that really catches the eye, especially low color. Low color, amazing colors, but low confidence, I think that's where I got low color from. Low confidence may stop you from fully exploring your creative artistry at all, or if you do, you're the type to sort of do it and then hide it from the world, and you're here to be showing and nurturing the world with your creative artistry as a Master 33-6. The social to achieve. So what I was saying before are the tasks to achieve. This is what the tasks that hit more socially. So you've got to learn to handle being the center of attention. You need to be comfortable expressing yourself in front of an audience or social group, because you're a master communicator, and the 3 is very performance related, and you're a double 3 with the 6 that can be very much the creative artist, so very creative number. It's performing to the audience that you're here to do that might be a bit difficult. You might want to hide in the background. You might fear being noticed, or fear being the center of attention at all, especially if you're still struggling with the verbal difficulties, knowing what to say to people. And speaking in public, you may feel, no, that's definitely a no-no, depending on where you are in your levels of verbal expression. You're here to develop positive emotional expression. The 3 is a very emotional number. You can tear people to shreds, or you can make them feel positive, entertained, or inspired. You can trample someone into the ground, or you can lift them up into the rafters. And the problem is when you trample people into the ground with your negative emotional outbursts that can be very hurtful and very destructive, but then you've got that other side of you that can lift people into the rafters. So it's about understanding, let's see a bit more of that positive emotional expression, and a few strategies and understanding to help you understand your triggers and to manage the negative emotion, because you have a very powerful emotional energy that can lift up to the gods, but also bury someone 6 foot down into the ground. So that very much needs to be managed. Not only that, for your own mental health as well, to feel emotionally balanced inside is very, very important. And expressing your intense emotions through your creativity, using a creative medium to channel all that excess emotional energy through that to help you manage any negative emotions that might be right down in the pit of that stomach of yours. You're also here to develop excellent positive social skills, to learn to be the social butterfly, the networker, talkative, fun, the life of the party, an excellent cooperative team player, someone that people wants to be around, makes everyone laugh, is socially confident and really up for, being the center of attention and up front, and making sure everyone around them has a darn good laugh. But again, this is a task to achieve. So you might be quiet, avoidant of social situations, quite social anxiety. Unable to find the social confidence to speak to one person, let alone a group or an audience of people. But again, it's going to be worse in childhood, and it's going to be developed as you get older and continue to develop that social confidence, that ability to emotionally express yourself to others, look them in the eye in a confident way and change their emotional state. And you know, if you can be in a social situation and be the center of attention, you can be on a stage and be center of attention, inspiring as many people as possible. You're also here to develop balanced interconnection with others, maintaining your own independence, but also helping and being helped by others. Because the 3 energy is very intense for you. And 3s like to be looked after. They have a tendency to dependence and avoidance of routine and commitment and everyday work and tasks. They're actually like to be the eternal child that is constantly focused on their own passions and creative endeavors, with somebody else looking after the routine, the mundane, and the financial areas of their life. 3s very much find it difficult to connect with the 9 to 5, with the independence of getting out there and doing routine jobs, to which a lot of people's young lives start. And it can make them dependent on others to a massive degree, and almost come across quite childlike to others, because it's like they're unwilling to take that step into what I would call the drudgery of work, because they see it straight away and it's not something they like. This routine and commitment of work, you know, the fact that that most of your life is linked to doing a job to have money so that you can eat. What 3s want to do is to focus on their own passions and creativity, and maybe over time make money through that creativity. But again, that's not easy. So that doesn't help the 3's tendency to have this dependency at times. I mean, the 6 will temper that a little in the master 33-6, but there is a 333 energy in this life purpose. So you could swing from one to the other, or there might be a total swing towards what I've just said that you would need to work through. I mean, yeah, the aspiration is to be able to earn your money and be independent using your creativity and your master ability to inspire, inform and delight. But we know that often takes time to do. But that's the thing, working towards it is important, and trying to balance the two so that you're not too dependent on others as you walk down this journey, again, is the difficulty of life. But balanced interconnection, giving and receiving in equal measure is important, because you don't want to just be take from this world, because it saps the energy of everyone around you. You're here to be an opportunistic networker who makes useful connections, just like that, you know, needing to be having positive social skills, being that networker, being talkative, the fun life of the parties. You've also got to be an opportunistic networker that makes useful connections as they come up. You might see someone in a room that you think, oh, that's so-and-so of so-and-so. Let's go and talk to them. Let's network with them, get their number, get their email address, see what we can do together, how we can collaborate. You know, lucrative connections, entrepreneurial connections. That's the sort of connections and networking that a 3 will really get involved in, because they're very entrepreneurial. They're not about the daily drudgery of work. However, that shyness, that social underconfidence, procrastination, it may cause you to let opportunities pass you by, unfortunately, and that's something to work through. And remember, this is your life purpose and it's going to happen. You've got to let yourself make those mistakes and then learn and improve. That's the whole idea. You're here also to be compassionate, a caring nurturer to your family, community, those less fortunate, the vulnerable. But you have the potential to be quite idealistic, and sometimes when ideals clash with humanity, when ideals are put before human life or human nurturing, there can become a little bit of an issue, and it has the potential to cause judgment of those carers, neglect, apathy, uncaring towards others, judgmental towards those they don't feel hit their ideal. Even the vulnerable can maybe not be looked after so well, maybe even neglected. And this is a very low point. I'm not saying all 33/6s do this, but because you're here to be compassionate and caring and nurture your family and your community and those less fortunate, the vulnerable, you often have to put a lot of your ideals aside. This is how they all link, because the judgment of ideals of who someone should be, or the gender they should be, or the race they should be, causes the potential for neglect, for discrimination, for apathy towards the well-being of others, and putting the ideal before the person, which again can cause you to be uncaring, because you're putting that, you don't feel you're doing any wrong, you're putting that ideal first, but the impact on the people around you can be difficult until you can see that, you can see the impact of your actions. So that's at the worst. So you might have variations of that. Sometimes your ideals might cause you to get a bit snappy and funny around certain people. That's linked to this, and coming back to the fact that we need to be compassionate and caring and nurture those around us in our community as well as our family, especially those less fortunate and vulnerable: children, animals, those that are struggling, the elderly, anyone that might have difficulties, the sick, the someone that might be struggling emotionally or with their mental health. They're all vulnerable people that you're here to be compassionate and caring to, no matter who they are and who you think is an ideal in this world. You're here to build a stable, secure and peaceful home where everybody at home feels loved and valued and safe, and link into the ideals and the standards that a six can sometimes have. There is the potential for ideals and concepts of perfection to be put before the person and their feelings, which has the potential at its worst to cause someone to be unloving and neglectful, and creating fear and instability and unhappiness at home, rather than an environment where everyone feels loved and valued and safe, no matter who they are. So again, there's variations on this, and I'm not saying that all 33/6s or anyone with 6 in their purpose is unloving and neglectful and hurts people. No, there is only the potential for that. You see it in the world, don't you? When ideals are brought in, people suffer, because those that don't conform to that ideal normally come off worse. That's just the concept that I'm trying to get across. You're here to set and honour yours and other people's boundaries as well, because you're a very caring energy, and the 33/6 is about service to the world. People can think that you're here to help them all the time and keep pushing on you and requesting from you, when you need to put up your boundaries sometimes and say, no, I need to rest, to prevent you doing too much, to prevent exhaustion, or you overstepping other people's boundaries and meddling in others' lives. So those boundaries are vital. So it's important that as a Master 33/6, you're not doing too much or meddling in other people's lives too much, because, it's only going to leave those people to be upset with you for meddling, and you'll be exhausted and you'll lose yourself, because you're helping them so much, you're not helping yourself. So that's the Master 33/6. Big energy to come by. But then you've got the birthday number 3, which again, you're going to see some things that are similar. Positive verbal expression to make others feel good, inspired and entertained, without shyness, without language difficulties that you're bound to have in your early life. Being creative, artistic in your expression, making others feel good and inspired and informed and entertained, and not letting low confidence and procrastination stop you from acting in any situation. To be dynamic with courage, to take calculated risks to progress, not fearful and unable to leave your comfort zone, which many 3s are. To enjoy the limelight of an audience, to be the centre of attention and not hide in the background, fear being noticed or fear speaking in public in any way. day, to be a doer and an executor of ideas, not somebody that it procrastinates or is apathetic or lazy or doesn't act at all on their creative ideas. To be responsible for yourself and the consequences of your actions, not irresponsible or unable to take responsibility for the consequences of your actions. To develop positive emotional expression that lifts others up, not negative emotional expression that hurts and destroys. You're here to be independent and interdependent and engage in tasks that build your independence and avoid your tendency to dependence and avoidance of routine, commitment and everyday tasks. You're here to be social, to learn to be talkative, the fun life of the party, not quiet and avoidant of social situations or have social anxiety, to learn to be opportunistic, to network, to snap up opportunities as they arrive, not again being socially underconfident or shy or procrastinate or hide in the background rather than act, letting opportunities pass you by. That's your life purpose, and there are all your difficulties that you're here to get through in this lifetime. And we've all got our difficulties, master numbers more so, but remember, these are difficulties that you're here to have, and it's not something to beat yourself up for. It's something to work through and learn by, so that you can be a better 33-6 and a better birthday 3. Can you please subscribe and follow me on my channel if you haven't already? Or if you want a reading or just to ask me questions, you can email me at katie@soulexplorer.net, or you can contact me on my social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. You can support me if you like as well on Ko-Fi or Patreon. The links are all in the description box. Or if you like learning by yourself, I have this book that really links to this series of videos on the life purpose, but I also have courses on Udemy too. The links to all of those are all in the description box below. See you soon. So this book here relates to my series of videos on the life purpose, which details the lessons of the life path and the birthday number working together to let you know what you're here to do in this lifetime.